Be stricken from the record.
But how can we strike this young man's bigoted opinions from the memory of this community?
Yeah!
Now go on, Miss Brown. Tell us more about Mr. Cates' opinions with regard to religion.
Objection, objection, objection. Hearsay testimony is not admissible.
The court sees no objection to this line of questioning. Proceed, Colonel Brady.
Miss Brown, will you merely repeat in your own words some of the conversations you have had with Mr. Cates?
Don't remember exactly.
What you told me the other day, that presumably humorous remark Mr. Cates made about the Heavenly Father.
Oh, Bert said...
Go ahead, my dear.
I
can't. May I remind you, Miss Brown, that you are testifying under oath and it is unlawful to withhold pertinent information.
Bert was only talking about some of the things he read.
And were you shocked by these things? Describe to the court your innermost feelings when Bertram Cates said to you, God did not create man, man created God.
Objection!
Didn't say that. Well, he was only joking. I mean, what he said was God created man in his own image, and man, being a gentleman, returned the compliment.
Go ahead, tell us some more. Tell us what Mr. Cates had to say about the holy state of matrimony. Did he compare it with the breeding of animals?
Oh! He didn't say that. He didn't mean that. That's not what I told you. Oh.
Are you ill, Miss Brown? Would you care for a glass of water?
Under the circumstances, I believe the witness should be dismissed.
And will the defense have no chance to challenge some of these statements that the prosecutor has put into the mouth of the witness?
Don't play it. Let it go.
No questions.
For the time being, the witness is excused. Does the prosecution wish to call any further witnesses?
Not at the present time, Your Honor.
We shall proceed with the case for the defense. Colonel Drummond.
Your Honor, I wish to call Dr. Amos D. Keller, head of the Department of Zoology at the University of Chicago.
Objection!
On what grounds?
Your Honor, what possible relevance would a zoology professor have on this trial?
It has every relevance. My client is on trial for teaching evolution. Any testimony relating to his alleged infringement of the law must be admitted.
Irrelevant, immaterial, inadmissible.
Why? If Bertram Cates were accused of murder, would it be irrelevant to call expert witnesses to examine the weapon? Would you rule out testimony that the so-called murder weapon was incapable of firing a bullet?
I failed to grasp the learned counsel's meaning.
Oh, Your Honor, the defense wishes to place Dr. Keller on the witness stand so he may explain to the jury exactly what the evolutionary theory is. How can they pass judgment on it if they don't know what it's all about?
And I hold that the very law we are here to enforce excludes such testimony. The people of this state have made it very clear that they do not want this zoological hogwash slobbered throughout their classrooms. And I refuse to allow these agnostic scientists from employing this courtroom as a sounding board and as a platform from which to shout their heresies into the headlines.
Yeah!
Colonel Drummond, the court rules that zoology is irrelevant to the case.
Agnostic scientist, then I call Dr. Alan Page, deacon of the Congregational Church and professor of geology and archaeology at Oberlin College.
Objection!
Objection sustained.
In one breath, does the court deny the existence of zoology, geology, and archaeology?
We do not deny the existence of these sciences, but they do not relate to this point of law.
I call Walter Aronson, philosopher, anthropologist, author, one of the most brilliant minds in the world today. Objection, Colonel Brady?
Objection.
Your Honor, the defense has brought to Hillsborough at great expense and inconvenience 15 noted scientists, the great thinkers of our time. Their testimony is basic to the defense of my client, for it is my intent to show this court that what Bertram Cates spoke quietly one spring afternoon in Hillsborough High School is no crime. It is incontrovertible as geometry to every enlightened community of mind.
In this community, Colonel Drummond, and in this sovereign state, exactly the opposite is the case. We do not need experts to question the validity of a law that is already on the books.
Right.
In other words, the court rules out any expert testimony on Darwin's origin of species or descent of man.
The court so rules.
Would the court admit expert testimony on a book known as the Holy Bible?
He's being fresh now.
Any objection, Colonel Brady?
If the counsel of the defense could advance the case of the prosecution through the Holy Scriptures, prosecution shall take no exception.
Good. I call to the stand one of the world's foremost experts on the Bible and its teachings, Matthew Harrison Brady.
This is preposterous.
Well, it is highly unorthodox. I've never known an instance where the defense called prosecuting attorney as a witness.
Your Honor, this entire trial is unorthodox. But if the interests of right and justice will be served, I will take the stand.
But Colonel Brady,
Colonel Brady, the court will support you if you wish to decline to testify, as a witness against your own case.
Your Honor, I shall not testify against anything. I will speak out, as I have my entire life, on behalf of the living truth of the Holy Scriptures.
Mrs. Meeker, you better swear in the witness, please.
You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
And he will.
Very good.
Am I correct, sir, in calling on you as an authority on the Bible?
I believe it is not boastful to say that I have studied the Bible more than most laymen, and I have tried to live my life according to its precepts.
Bully for you. Now, I suppose you can quote me chapter and verse right through King James Version, can't you?
There are large portions of the Holy Bible that I have committed to memory.
I don't suppose you've memorized many passages from Darwin's Origin of Species.
I am not in the least interested in the pagan hypotheses of that book.
Never read it?
Never will.
Then how in perdition do you have the gall to whoop up this holy war against something you know nothing about? How can you be so cocksure that the body of scientific knowledge systematized in the writings of Charles Darwin is in any way irreconcilable with the spirit of the book of Genesis?
Could you state that question again, please?
Let me put it this way. On page 19 of The Origin of Species, Darwin states that...
Your Honor, I object to this. Colonel Brady has been called as an authority on the Bible. Now the gentleman from Chicago is using this opportunity to read into the record scientific testimony, which you, Your Honor, have previously ruled is irrelevant. If he's going to examine Colonel Brady on the Bible, let him stick to the Bible. The Holy Bible and the only Bible.
you will confine your